This video took a bit longer to make than I wanted, but it's finally ready and I'm excited to share it with you. It is the first guide in a series where I will cover mechanics and lesser known details of various monster zones with the goal of pushing efficiency as far as possible for increased loot and/or rare drops. For me, optimizing and learning how to beat grind spots is what's always been fun, so that's what this video is going to be about, showcasing the results of what I have learned while grinding at the Crypt of Resting Thoughts. The overall strategy involves enough concepts that would take too long to cover in this video, so I've left some of that technical stuff out. While this video covers the Elite Rotation's core principles, it will evolve and be optimized over time. If you're interested in learning about these concepts, or if you have any questions, join me in the Goblin Cave Discord, which is a community that I just recently started for min-max grinders. The Elite Rotation is just a variation of the standard main rotation. However, instead of just grinding the main and lower rooms, it seeks to extend into and up to 4 rooms, including the upper and side rooms which are adjacent to main and lower. Doing so enables us to spawn up to 20 Dark Knights per hour and up to 8 to 10 extra Elites. This is the foundation for the Elite Rotation and what is primarily responsible for the increases to both belt drops and trash loot. While everyone is welcome to grind however they want, Crypt is an endgame grind zone, and this guide is made for min-maxers who are looking to leverage strategy and tactics for drop efficiency. Before going over the rotation, we need to cover 2 topics. First, the basic underlying concepts which lead to our drop increases, and second, what defines an optimal rotation. The most important concept is understanding the value of Dark Knights and Elites, as they are the very reason that this strategy is able to get so much more trash loot and Deboreka Belts. For reference, across over 50 hours of my own tracked grind sessions, my average belts dropped per hour is 1.7, often getting 3 belts 1 or 2 times every 10 to 15 hours, due to killing so many Dark Knights. The next detail is that Dark Knights spawn 12 minutes after being activated by aggroing the mobs in their room. No ongoing activity or kills are required in order to spawn a Dark Knight. This is important for 2 reasons. With a 12-minute respawn timer, each room can spawn up to 5 Dark Knights per hour. Prioritizing these spawns immediately takes advantage of their large loot table, as a single Dark Knight equals around 33 mobs or 3.3 packs worth of mobs and trash, yet with significantly less health than even a single pack to clear. Aggressively focusing Dark Knights as they appear maximizes both our belt drops and our trash loot. The January 3rd updates massively increased the value of Dark Knights by buffing their Deboreka Belt drop chance by a massive 750%, while also giving Raznals a 500% increase. Not prioritizing Dark Knights is very detrimental to your trash loot and overall chances towards the belt drops. This is because each Dark Knight we kill has a chance of spawning a Raznal, which also drops more trash and has a higher chance of acquiring the belt than regular mobs. Accounting for these over time is significant. Across all of my tracked hours, 23% of my belts were from Dark Knights, Raznal, or Elites. Another consideration is the low chance for a Dark Knight to spawn a Raznal on death. By taking advantage of our knowledge of spawn windows, we are able to force the most amount of DKs possible, which in turn gives us the most amount of chances towards a Raznal as possible. This over time will significantly contribute to all of our trash as well as belt drops. A quick note, when fighting Raznal, they should only be engaged within their immediate area, since their health does not reset if they lose aggro. It takes about 2 to 3 loops to clear a Raznal, so focusing them like the Dark Knights is not required, as they don't have any additional mechanics tied to them. As for Crypt's Elites, there are a few details. They don't count towards the 10 mob aggro limit. They have a very long 18 to 24 minute spawn time. Their wide spawn window typically results in 2 spawns per hour per room, but 3 is sometimes possible. Only the main Marnie room has a permanent 3-minute Elite Bear spawn, and a single Elite equals 14 mobs or 1.4 packs. Elites also received a 60% increased belt drop chance. One mistake that I see many grinders repeating is skipping or slowly kiting the Marnie Bear, which wastes a lot of time and potential trash. We should quickly kill this Elite, which is worth just under 1.5 packs, as often as possible. Since the bear spawns every 3 minutes, killing it in the surrounding 2 packs as quickly as possible adds up to a lot of trash over the course of even just a single hour. To easily control and clear the bear, stay in melee range to prevent its roll attacks. Its first attack will always be a roll, so you should control the direction that it goes in by positioning yourself between the bear and where you want it to go, aiming for either the wall behind it or the pack of mobs in the other direction. For elite wolves, grind is normal, kiting from pack to pack since they have erratic movement with a wide spawn window. The last mechanic involves the spellcasting mages and aggro ranges. When attacked, the mages will cast one of 2 spells. You will see a notification at the middle top of your screen. When clearing packs, stand on top of the mages as they will linger in place while casting one of these spells, reducing your available aggro limit for the next pack. Leaving multiple spellcasting mages hurts your pulling efficiency, as each mage left alive like this will reduce your aggro limit by 1. With those mechanics in mind, let's define what an optimal rotation is. The standard rotation includes the main or Marnie room and extending down into the lower room, doubling potential Dark Knight spawns from 1 to 2. The elite rotation builds on this by extending into the upper and side rooms, forcing 2 additional Dark Knight spawns. The goal is tracking spawn timers to swiftly clear each room's Dark Knight as it spawns before rotating to the next. When clearing Dark Knights, avoid staying and clearing extra mobs, prioritizing Dark Knights and elites in this order. This doubles the spawns again from 2 to 4. When you are rotating into lower, fully clearing the room after killing the DK is more efficient than simply killing the DK and moving on like we did in the previous rooms. This is because it's the last DK in the loop, and there are already mobs ready to be aggroed and killed around you, so we don't need to spend any time running up the stairs looking for mobs when they're already around us. Something to consider is that not everyone needs to extend into the lower room after clearing main's loop each time. You should only be extending if you would have to wait longer for respawns in main than the time required to run down the stairs, pull a pack, and then clear it in lower. Depending on your class, this could be anywhere from 15 to 25 seconds. It's typically faster to stick with main's respawning mobs than to spend excessive time rotating unnecessarily. This will most likely be determined by which class you play, as some classes perform considerably better here than others. Knowing when to extend into lower just takes a little bit of experience, as rotation clear speeds vary from player to player and class to class. Before starting your hour, scout each room to check for any Dark Knights that have already been spawned, and activate any inactive rooms by aggroing some mobs in them. Most players enter Crypt riding through lower, so navigate through lower into main, then over to upper, then over to side, back into lower, and then park your horse and buff. Remember, maximize trash by extending only when it's necessary, focusing on the mobs that are already around you instead of running downstairs, not killing mobs. If any Dark Knights are already spawned or were activated by a previous grinder, tracking their 12-minute spawn timers gets a little trickier. Use a voice assistant or timer app to set named timers when killing each room's Dark Knight. You'll want to arrive 5 to 10 seconds before the next spawn to swiftly kill the fresh DK. I personally set 11-minute timers when this happens. This gives me enough time to figure out where I am in the rotation. Depending on where I am, sometimes you can clear the elite bear before rotating to the Dark Knight for a little extra trash. When rotating for a Dark Knight, aggro any elites that are spawned there as well. For bears, you'll want to pull the Dark Knight to the bear to focus fire both down quickly, as the bear moves slowly. When in upper, sometimes the bear is on the other side of the room. In this case, wait to clear it on the next DK rotation. You don't want to throw off the DK timers for the Elites since they're not worth as much and not as important as Dark Knights. The Elite rotation capitalizes on known mechanics within a viable method, adapting them to their fullest potential. However, it is not mandatory to grind all 4 rooms when implementing this strategy. You can easily grind the standard main and lower rotation if you prefer it, or if other grinders have moved into the upper or side rooms thinking that they're out of your way. Despite PA's efforts to improve the layout of Crypt, it's important to understand that the upper and side rooms aren't suitable as standalone rotations. This is due to their overall lack of mobs. It's very easy to overclear these rooms and have nothing to do or nowhere to rotate due to the disconnected layout. Being disconnected from main also prevents the spawning of additional Dark Knights. Grinding these rooms independently significantly drops your trash loot and belt drop rates. Overall, each of these rooms is significantly worse than the Marnie rotation. In summary, the Elite rotation is an advanced grind strategy that maximizes your trash loot and Deboreka Belt drops by prioritizing Dark Knights and Elites. The core points are: prioritize killing Dark Knights as soon as they spawn every 12 minutes in each room to take advantage of their increased 750% drop rate towards the belt and their increased trash value. Quickly eliminate the permanent Elite bear spawn in the main room, as they have a 60% increased drop chance for the belt and are worth around 1.5 packs of trash loot each. Clear packs on top of mages to prevent them from living and casting spells that would otherwise reduce your aggro limit if they were to stay alive on your next packs. Only extend to the upper, side, and lower rooms when Dark Knights are due to spawn in each one. Only extend into the lower room when necessary, prioritizing fully clearing the main room instead. Use timers and plan your rotations to arrive at each spawn point within about 5 to 10 seconds to secure each and every potential Dark Knight. The key is chasing efficiency, killing every DK as soon as possible to enable the next one with minimal delay. Stay on top of cooldowns, or a 60 to 61 minute rotation becomes 65 to 70 minutes, or you just start missing their spawns entirely, which will significantly cut your trash and lower your chances of acquiring the Deboreka Belt. This is a good part to leave you to go and experiment on your own. If you're interested in discussing the strategy, or min-max grinding in general, join us in the Goblin Cave Discord. The link is in the description. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe to help our Lord and Savior the algorithm.